Many have written off wheat as being unhealthy when it really is an unsung superfood that is able to boost the nutrition of many of the foods that you are already eating, like breads, muffins, cookies, cakes, and quiches. Up until the late 1800s and early 1900s, most of these foods were made at home with the use of freshly stone milled wheat flour. That is, until steel rolling mills were invented and thus gave way to the modern milling of flour, which involves stripping out wheat's most nutrient-dense components and then subsequent enrichment with just a few synthetic vitamins and minerals. Thankfully, it is possible to go back to stone milling methods easily in the comfort of your own home and to regularly consume wheat flour as nature intended. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Dr. Marissa Buscemi. I am a pharmacist and integrative nutrition health coach, and I share on everyday wellness with good food and natural living. In today's video, I am sharing about the nutritional benefits of freshly milled wheat flour and how you can easily mill wheat berries at home. So we make wheat flour by milling wheat berries. Wheat berries have three main parts: the bran, the germ, and the endosperm. You can think of it like an egg. The bran is like the egg shell, the germ is like the egg yolk, and the endosperm is like the egg white. The bran is the outermost layer of the seed and it comprises 14 to 16% of the dry weight of the wheat berry. It's rich in fiber and protein, B vitamins, iron, phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, and it also contains enzymes that aid digestion and yeast fermentation. The germ is the most nutritious part of the wheat berry, and it comprises 4 to 5% of its dry weight. It is rich in essential fatty acids, and it is one of the most abundant food sources of vitamin E. It also contains many vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and phytonutrients. And the endosperm makes up the remaining 80 to 85% of the dry weight of the wheat berry. It contains mostly starch and protein and very little vitamins and minerals. So wheat berries contain all three of the macronutrients: carbs, fat, and protein, along with many micronutrients, which are vitamins and minerals. Now let's take a closer look at some of these nutrients, and first up is fiber. Wheat berries contain both soluble and insoluble fiber. Soluble fiber dissolves in water and forms a gel-like substance in the digestive tract. It helps to lower cholesterol, which supports heart health. It slows down glucose absorption, which prevents blood sugar spikes. It will increase feelings of fullness and support healthy weight management. And it acts as prebiotics and feeds the bacteria in our gut. Insoluble fiber, on the other hand, does not dissolve in water, and it functions to add bulk to the stool and promote regular bowel movements. Next are the B vitamins. Wheat berries contain the entire B complex except for vitamin B12. So those are thiamine, which is B1, riboflavin, which is B2, niacin, which is B3, pantothenic acid, which is B5, pyroxidine, which is B6, biotin, which is B7, and folate, which is B9. B vitamins are essential for energy production from carbs, fat, and protein, for the production of neurotransmitters and red blood cells, for nerve function, in the synthesis of DNA and RNA, which is our genetic material, for immune health, and for mental health as they support mood. Next is vitamin E. This is a fat-soluble vitamin and an antioxidant. Daily consumption of antioxidants is important for combating oxidative stress, which is linked to many health conditions like aging, arthritis, age-related macular degeneration, cataracts, cognitive decline, and cancer. Vitamin E can also greatly benefit cardiovascular health because it can help prevent something called platelet hyperaggregation, which is where lots of platelets stick together and form blood clots in blood vessels, which can lead to atherosclerosis and heart disease. Vitamin E is involved in immune function, cellular signaling, regulation of gene expression, and other metabolic processes. And the last one that I'm going to talk about is phytic acid. So phytic acid is found in the bran portion of the wheat berry, and it helps the plant store phosphorus. So while most know this as an anti-nutrient, meaning that it can bind to other nutrients and prevent the absorption of minerals in the small intestine, there has been some recent research that shows that it has some health benefits. For example, it is also considered an antioxidant. It can bind with heavy metals and prevent the formation of damaging free radicals in the body. It may lower the incidence of colon cancer and protect against other inflammatory bowel diseases. And interestingly, it may also have a protective effect against osteoporosis. Now, if you want to reduce phytic acid in wheat, you can do so through soaking, sprouting, fermentation, aka sourdough, and by cooking the wheat. So as you can see, wheat berries are a powerhouse of nutrition, but whether or not they contain all of these nutrients really depends on milling methods, essentially how you make the flour. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, before steel roller mills were invented in the late 1800s and then widely used in the 1900s, flour was freshly milled using stone mills either at home or at local town mills where you would go and pick up your flour for the week. These mills made wheat flour that retained all three parts of the wheat berry, and then you would go ahead and use it right away to make bread for the week and do any other baking that needed to be done. Freshly milled flour doesn't last very long, and so you need to use it right away. The oils that are found in the germ can go rancid within a few weeks once the flour has been milled, and thus their presence dictates the shelf life of the flour. You are not going to see freshly milled flour on the shelf at the grocery store because by the time that it would get there, it would have already gone bad. So in order to extend that shelf life, steel roller mills were invented, and they removed both the bran and the germ from the wheat flour, and what you are left with is the endosperm. This is how you get white all-purpose flour. If some of the bran is added back in with the endosperm, then that's how you get whole wheat flour that you see on the shelf at the grocery store. While it contains a little bran, it is still missing the germ, which again is the most nutrient-dense part of the wheat berry. All-purpose flour contains little to no vitamins and minerals on its own, and in the early 1900s, large numbers of people started to develop nutrient-deficient diseases like beriberi, which is caused from a vitamin B1 deficiency, pellagra, which is caused from a vitamin B3 deficiency, and anemia, which can be caused from an iron deficiency. So in 1941, the government enacted the flour enrichment program that mandated that milling companies needed to add these nutrients back in. Unfortunately, these are the only nutrients that were mandated at the time to be added back into the flour. Steel roller milling methods remove over 30 nutrients plus numerous phytochemicals from flour. And so what people were left with is still a flour lacking in many nutrients that are naturally found within wheat berries. And it wasn't until 1998 that folic acid was mandated to be one of those nutrients to be added into enriched flour. And this was because people were seeing an increase in the incidence of neural tube birth defects. And that right there is where we are at with the enrichment of flour today. These nutrients may also be synthetic, which can be harder for the body to absorb, and many individuals have a genetic variation that makes it difficult for them to convert folic acid to folate, which is the active form of vitamin B9, and this is particularly worrisome for pregnant women. So what we really need to do is to get back to milling our own flour using stone milling grain mills so that we end up with a far more superior nutrient-dense flour that contains all three parts of the wheat berry and hence all of its natural nutrients. And I don't have enough time to really get into this in this video, but when you mill your own flour, you are also avoiding all of the processing that gets done to the flour once it's milled, and that will add to its health benefits for you as well. I personally got into all of this when I got started with sourdough last year and throughout my quest to figure out how to make bread healthy again. Initially, my goal was just to make bread at home with simple ingredients and without the use of seed oils, hydrogenated oils, highly refined processed sugars, and preservatives. But when I started to research on flour, I was shocked at all of this information and I knew that I wanted to make a change. I thought it was going to be really time intensive and hard to do, but it actually isn't. You just need two things. One is a grain mill that uses stone milling methods, and two are wheat berries. This is the grain mill that I use. It's called the Harvest Grain Mill, and it is from Nutritional. In my opinion, it is truly stunning, and I love to display it on my counter at all times, like a decor piece. They also have two other beautiful grain mills as well, and those are called the Impact and the Classic Grain Mill. Now, I get my wheat berries off of Amazon. I have been buying 5-pound bags of them at a time. It's been working really well for me thus far, and I will link the ones that I have been using down below. I can make a separate video differentiating between the different varieties of wheat berries, but for the two that I have listed below, I use the hard white wheat berries for bread recipes, and I use the soft white wheat berries for cookies, muffins, cakes, and quiches. Hard wheat berries contain more protein, gluten, which is necessary for breads so that they hold together and have structure. And soft wheat berries contain less protein, less gluten, and this will give you light and fluffy baked goods. You can use hard wheat berries for baked goods, but they will be denser and tougher than if you were to use soft wheat berries. So that's why I recommend that. And I've also recommended it based off of experience. It takes less than a minute to mill fresh flour, and the grain mill does all of the work for you. So this makes this process very attainable and doable for everyone to do. Also, in my opinion, this is not just for men and women who stay at home or work from home. This is literally for everyone. I think that this is so important to start doing because no matter how much you're willing to pay, most grocery stores are not even going to be able to sell freshly milled flour or breads and other baked goods that are made with this flour. So I think that it's definitely worth the initial investment to get a grain mill, and you can use my affiliate discount code Simply20 to save an additional $20 off on your order, and I have them linked down below. I think that it would also make a really great gift for someone, for example, a bridal shower gift, a new home gift for someone who loves to cook, or someone who wants to improve their everyday wellness. So those are the nutritional benefits of freshly milled wheat flour. And something that I want to point out is that even if you just replace half of the flour in a recipe with freshly milled flour, then you are still providing lots of nutritional benefits to your body that you otherwise wouldn't have gotten. And this is definitely going to help you with your everyday wellness. I hope that you all enjoyed this video and got to learn more about why it is so important to start milling flour at home. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and if you want to see how I make my weekly sourdough bread recipe using freshly milled wheat flour, then you can watch this video right here. Otherwise, I hope to see you in my next video, and as always, stay well, my friends. Bye!